Man, this kind of week perfectly captures why so many dedicated PGA Tour supporters become deeply passionate about the game. It goes far beyond simple scoreboards and final tallies. At its heart, professional golf stirs powerful emotions, intense pressure, raw disappointment, personal pride, and those explosive instants when everything boils over live on camera for the whole world to witness. What unfolded during this PGA Championship weekend carried far more weight than a typical tournament narrative. You could sense the electric tension building from the very first hours of the day. It wasn't limited to the shots on the course either. The atmosphere surrounding the players felt heavier than usual, fueled by ongoing external noise. Fierce rivalries, massive expectations, passionate crowd energy, and the persistent questions hanging over the PGA Tour and its fractured relationships with other leagues. Everything seemed to be intensifying to a new peak. Then, in a single flash, one unforgettable moment shifted the entire post-tournament discussion coming out of Oak Hill Country Club. It had nothing to do with a spectacular drive or the eventual champion. Instead, it centered on a raw, unfiltered reaction that has the entire golf community buzzing. And the most surprising element, this situation might still have more chapters left to unfold. If you're a true PGA Tour enthusiast who tracks every layer of the competition, the major championships, the personal rivalries, the backstage developments, and all the unspoken tensions, then do yourself a favor and smash that like button right now. Subscribe to PGA Tour today and help us climb toward our first 10,000 subscribers. We're only just beginning this journey together. Once the dust settled on Sunday afternoon at the PGA Championship, the dominant topic emerging from Oak Hill wasn't even the impressive victory by Aaron Rai. No, the conversation overwhelmingly revolved around McIlroy reaching his breaking point with a disruptive spectator during one of the most critical stretches of his final round. If you tuned in live, you could almost feel the mounting irritation in real time. Arrived on Sunday still battling to close the gap on the leaders. Fresh off his long-awaited Masters triumph the previous month, finally securing that elusive sixth major, he carried sky-high hopes and expectations. Every event now carries extra significance, with observers wondering whether this is the same capable of dominating the sport again as the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills approaches. But things began unraveling in the later stages of the round. The incident everyone keeps replaying occurred on the par 5 16th hole. McIlroy was preparing a delicate chip from the rough, eyeing a crucial birdie or even eagle chance to keep his comeback alive. Right in the middle of his backswing, a fan shouted loudly, throwing off his timing completely. Instead of a clean strike that could have set up an excellent scoring opportunity, the ball sailed weakly into a greenside bunker. That was the tipping point. Cameras captured visibly shouting an expletive toward the spectator, demanding silence and gesturing for security to intervene. Reports indicate he personally requested that tournament officials eject the individual from the ERUPTS grounds. Right away, countless PGA Tour followers expressed understanding and support for his response. This wasn't some isolated outburst without context. For years, has openly discussed the growing issue of disrespectful and abusive fan conduct, particularly at high-stakes American events. Many instantly drew parallels to last year's Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black, where McIlroy endured non-stop verbal harassment and personal taunts throughout Europe's memorable victory. You could see that accumulated frustration resurfacing strongly on Sunday. Remarkably, showed tremendous mental strength afterward. He exploded out of the bunker to leave himself just 5 feet for par and converted the save beautifully. Yet the damage from that lost birdie chance proved costly. At that stage, capitalizing on the reachable par 5s was essential if he hoped to hunt down Aaron Rai's lead. In the end, McIlroy posted a solid but insufficient 1 under 69, finishing the championship at 4 under total, 5 strokes back of the winner. Meanwhile, Aaron Rai delivered a masterclass under pressure, firing a sparkling 65 that featured birdies on 4 of his closing holes, including that very same 16th where Rai's momentum derailed. The sharp contrast between their experiences amplified the drama. In his post-round interview, Rai was candid about exactly where the tournament escaped him. He highlighted the missed scoring chances on the par 5 9th and 16th, along with an unnecessary bogey on the short, drivable par 4 13th. He noted that converting those opportunities would have completely transformed his final round story, and in many ways he was spot on. Outside of those key slips, produced the kind of high-level golf that frequently claims major titles. However, the narrative has expanded even further now. Multiple credible sources reveal that PGA Tour executives are seriously considering internal disciplinary measures against him. A monetary fine appears to be a distinct possibility, and officials have already delivered a formal warning regarding expected standards of player conduct during prestigious major events. This development highlights the tricky position the PGA Tour currently faces. On one hand, the organization emphasizes maintaining composure and professionalism during nationally televised broadcasts, especially at the game's biggest stages, as it works to preserve golf's traditional reputation amid rising tensions between players and spectators. On the other hand, many competitors feel they've reached their limit with increasingly disruptive fan behavior. Several fellow professionals reportedly offered private backing to RA, arguing that spectator conduct has deteriorated noticeably in recent seasons. The truth is, golf galleries are evolving. There's more shouting, more deliberate attempts to provoke reactions, and more individuals chasing viral fame through interruptions. The environment increasingly resembles louder atmospheres in other professional sports, and not every player adapts comfortably, particularly when it happens mid-backswing in a major championship. While the PGA Tour does not view this as warranting a suspension or anything that would impact competition, the fact that it occurred on live television creates pressure for some visible response from leadership. As of Monday afternoon, McIlroy and his team had not issued any public statement regarding potential penalties. Even as this storyline dominated headlines, another significant development involving Patrick Reed and the future of LIV golf was quietly gaining momentum. This chapter carries profound implications for the broader landscape of professional golf. Patrick Reed had been operating somewhat below the radar recently while attention focused on larger LIV-related chaos. But during PGA Championship Week, he addressed the startling reports that LIV Golf might lose its primary financial support from the Saudi Public Investment Fund following the 2026 season. The revelation sent shockwaves through the sport. Players reportedly first learned of the uncertainty during the LIV Golf event in Mexico, leaving many uncertain about the league's long-term stability. What adds even more intrigue is that Reed had already departed LIV Golf several months earlier. He expressed genuine surprise at the speed of these developments and voiced hope that current LIV participants would find continued competitive opportunities elsewhere, noting his enduring friendships within that group. For PGA Tour loyalists, this opens fascinating new possibilities. Patrick Reed is actively charting a path back to the main American circuit. After leaving LIV in January, shortly following his win at the Dubai Desert Classic, he has been exploring re-entry options. Unlike Brooks Koepka, who utilized the returning members' pathway for a quicker comeback, Reed must wait until August to become fully eligible again. In the interim, he's been excelling on the DP World Tour, securing 2 victories in just 3 appearances, and even establishing an early lead in the race to Dubai standings ahead of players like Rory McIlroy. Reed has spoken enthusiastically about facing top competition again, particularly mentioning how enjoyable it is to go head-to-head with McIlroy and other elite talents, as those battles always generate excitement and memorable moments. You can already envision the fireworks if Reed successfully reintegrates into the PGA Tour while Rory remains one of its central figures. Their shared Ryder Cup history, the lingering effects of the LIV divide, contrasting personalities, and passionate fan bases would immediately reignite compelling storylines. Reed further mentioned that several former LIV members are already investigating backup plans via the DP World Tour should the league face serious financial challenges without continued Saudi investment. This represents a potentially pivotal shift in professional golf. For the first time in years, momentum may be building toward a more unified structure centered once again around the PGA Tour. Reed appears highly motivated by this next chapter. He insists his exit from LIV had nothing to do with doubts about its viability. Instead, he cited personal reasons, family priorities, building his legacy, and competing regularly closer to home. He expressed a strong desire to contend for titles on Sundays again and add to his accomplishments on the premier PGA Tour stage. That's a powerful reflection coming from a player who once stood as one of the most prominent faces of the LIV golf experiment. Now, as we look ahead to the US Open at Shinnecock Hills, Rory McIlroy remains among the most formidable competitors in the game following his Masters breakthrough. Yet mental hurdles from moments like Sunday will test his resilience as the pressure continues mounting. Simultaneously, Patrick Reed's strong form on the DP World Tour and impending PGA Tour return inject fresh energy and narrative depth into the season. Whether you admire these athletes or find them polarizing, this blend of high-stakes drama makes modern professional golf utterly captivating. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Did Rory McIlroy go too far in his reaction to the spectator, or has fan behavior spiraled out of control? And what do you predict for Patrick Reed's future and LIV Golf's trajectory given these latest reports? If you appreciated this deep dive, please give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment, and subscribe to PGA Tour Today. Our channel is still growing, aiming for that first 10,000 subscriber milestone. If you're the type of golf fan who craves authentic analysis, genuine reactions, and staying ahead of every major development in the sport, you're in the right place. Let's grow this community together.